guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for coming, for joining me again. And for those that watched my last video, thank you very much. So today I just want to talk about my experience or my admission story, how I got admitted, things that I did, how the process was, and maybe somebody may pick one or two things, and maybe I also share a hack when it comes to seeking admission, because before now I've gotten before I got my admission to France, I've gotten like few admissions. I've gotten a few admissions before I actually got the one for France at the school I am presently, but due to some reasons, it could be financial constraints or the timing, I could not really do anything about those admissions. So I used to tell people that getting admission has never been my problem. I've gotten before last year last year I got the admission to France, to the school in France. A year before I got like 5 to 6 admissions. So I think when it comes to getting admission, I've been able to hack the process. So I just want to share with you how my own story was. So I'm particularly using France experience of my journey to study in France as a case study here to speak to you guys. So for my admission to France, right, I think the whole idea started in 2023. Yeah, 2023 was when I kind of shifted my focus from UK, US. It was first US, then due to some constraints, financial constraints, the timing, I'm kind of focused on UK. I got some admission. When I applied to the US, I got some admission, but I didn't do anything about it because of the constraints. Then I moved to UK, I got some admission to UK, but I didn't do anything about it. Like 2 or 3 admissions. Then I moved to Europe. Let me just try Europe. Let me try a country in Europe. I think I tried Spain, a business school in Spain, Malta, then France. In 2024, the early period of 2024, I got admission to the Spain and Malta, but also the timing was not the right time. I just felt it was God just orchestrating my path. Then the whole France came into place. Then I also saw the admission. They opened the court to actually submit an application to the school I am presently, and I actually went to Campus France. For those that are conversant to Campus France, I went to Campus France, and Campus France is an organization that I think is linked with countries to countries. And I believe that if you are trying to study in France, you must be familiar with this by now. And if not, please go and make yourself on the Campus France of your country. So on Campus France, you can apply through the platform called I think EEF procedure. I don't know, I can't remember the full meaning of that now, but maybe I can put it in between the video. So it's a procedure that you applied through Campus France. So you are applying to the school, but not directly to the school. You are applying through Campus France to help you put your application together and send it to the school. That is what that procedure is. However, there is other procedure called e-candidate. E-candidate is where you apply directly to the school. So this school, I only applied through the Campus France. I put my document together. By now, you know that your document is very important. Your transcripts, your degree certificates, your passports, your motivation letter, statement of purpose, or maybe your cover letter, depending on what is required. English test if it's required, and if not, just have an English level. I had the letter of English language proficiency from my school, from my undergraduate school. So, and also my school didn't require that I provide an English test, maybe because I'm from Nigeria and English is our official language. However, that drama unfolded when we got here, which maybe I'll talk about in another video. So I did my application. So what I did was that, as much as I wanted to study in France, I was not very desperate about program. it was one particular program I want. It was either because I am an HR professional, so it's either I'm doing my master's in my professional area or in a management area, and particularly an MBA, international MBA or just an MBA. Anything outside that I was not ready to do, or international management. If it's not in that field, because that's where I operate, that is my area of focus as an individual, as a professional. So I stick to that. And when I was applying to this school, Campus France allows you to submit up to 7 applications on a row, and in an application, in a particular application, you can submit up to sometimes application up to 7 schools. But for me, I played a very risky game. I won't advise you to do that, but just know what you're doing. I only applied to one school, and every time I tell people about these things, they are always like, "Why? You had the chance to apply to 7 schools and you only applied to one school." And I keep telling them, I said, that was the only program that was within what I wanted. It was an international management masters. It fit into my budget. As much as I got like a tuition exemption, which led me to pay like more of registration fee, not like tuition like others that are in other schools paid 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. My school fees was my tuition fee, or my registration fee was 253 euros. So I was particular about, I had my goals as regards studying. So I wasn't going to do anything that will lead me to breaking my back, just in case I'm not able to secure a scholarship or some sort of tuition exemption or partial scholarship, any form of scholarship. So, and that was the program that fit into that my goal. It was the structure was for me. Everything I wanted was that program. I tried to search for that program that fit into that structure, but it was not available on the platform. I could not apply to those programs on Campus France. So I just stick to just one program on Campus France, and I threw in my application, knowing fully well that I keep telling people that I believed I would be admitted, because by any form of evaluation, I met the requirement for the program. It's only if village people were to act. But in this matter, I had everything that was required for the program. I had the experience, I had the educational qualification, I had the certifications. So there was no how they could say no. And I was only applied to one school. So in my mind, I'm like, if they are evaluating my application and they see that this guy only chose one school, that means 1, I'm not very desperate. 2, I knew what I wanted. So I played that risky game, submitted the application, and boom, I got my admission. However, I also did an application to direct application to another school for international MBA, but I think I submitted my application later, because when I got the response, I was told that the space were already filled up for the program, so they couldn't admit me for the program. But however, I already got the admission to my preferred program, and that's how I was admitted, and that's how I got here. So I tell people, see, you have to, when you are submitting your application, ensure that you dot your I and cross your T. The God's grace is still there, which I will not say it is not. It is, and it worked for me. But however, I did my due diligence. I crossed my T's and dotted my I's. You know, and so I think it was, and with God supporting my application, there was no how the school won't have granted me admission at that point. So sometimes I advise when you are applying for a master's, ensure there's a link between what you are doing now and the program you are applying for. Make sure there's a link. Or if you want to change career path, you must be able to tell your story in your cover letter or your motivation letter on why you are switching career path. It must be so believing. Because if I show you it was easy for me to write my motivation letter because that was my feed. I don't need to think twice. I flow when I was writing my cover letter, writing my motivation letter for the program. You understand? So ensure that you stay within your jurisdiction, and if you are switching career paths, make sure that it is something you can boldly speak about. You've read about it, you've researched about that program, and you are sure that you have what it takes to survive within that program. And that's how I got my admitted, and that's how I eventually applied for my visa, and I got approved. Maybe in the next video I'll talk about my visa application, the process I went through, and it was. So till then, see you guys in my next video. Thank you.